You know what I've realized lately? A lot of Gen Xers are quietly deciding that we don't want to have the same life that our parents had. Not because our parents were wrong, but because we realize that the rules that they lived by no longer work. And many of us have seen our parents work, struggle, they're exhausted, they saved for retirement, only to still be worrying about finances and struggling even in retirement. So many of us have decided that that's not the life that we want to live. So a lot of us are asking ourselves, why are we postponing our lives? This isn't how we want to live. Our parents' generation was taught a very specific formula. Work hard, stay loyal to one employer, pay off your mortgage as fast as you can, save every penny for retirement or for something in the future, delayed gratification, and then eventually, one day, someday, you get to enjoy life. And for many boomers, that made sense at the time. Housing was more affordable, pensions existed, jobs were more stable, one income could support a whole family. But Gen Xers, we came into adulthood during a very different time and completely different reality. We've lived through layoffs, recessions, skyrocketing housing costs, the burnout culture, disappearing pensions, and now literally the rising cost of everything. So naturally, we are starting to question the old script. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lori, and welcome to my channel. This is Ever After 50. I'm a full-time working mom. I have 2 young adults living in the home. I've been working in public service for 26 years. I have a small business as well. Don't mind the raspy voice. I have been sick for the last few weeks, but I'm here today to talk about how some of us Gen Xers have chosen to live a different life than our boomer parents. And I think it's a really important discussion because there's no time better than now to get out and live your life. So if this is sparking some interest, I hope that you'll watch until the very end, and I hope that you'll subscribe and share in the comments how you have chosen to live your life. Now let's get to this video. One of the biggest shifts in mindset for midlife people is that life is happening now. There is no point in saving for the future, waiting until the future, because tomorrow is never promised. Many of us have watched our family, friends, work really hard, save money, struggle, make sacrifices, and then to, in the end, still be suffering or to not be able to enjoy the life that they had planned for different reasons. And I think that's why so many of us have chosen a different path for our lives. And that's why, for us in particular, I had this conversation with my husband on the weekend, actually, that, we're 54, 53, and had we not done all of the traveling and going here and going there and going for dinner and enjoying time out with the kids and bringing our kids on pretty much every trip that we've taken, we would have saved about $150,000 by now. But I also said in that same conversation, I have no regrets. I would not want to be 54 years old and not have done anything, to have just lived life, just existed. That's not what I wanted for my life. And I think that's so much of what we saw in our parents, that they just sat at home, enjoyed time at home, saved money, paid off the mortgage, and then to get to retirement and you're too old, your health has failed you, you're still struggling financially, and then your whole life has passed and you didn't have a chance to do anything. So in our home, we have chosen to live completely different to the way our parents lived their life. I think that once you start to see what's out there in the world and that there's so many possibilities of things that you can do, and when you look and you see other people that have lived their lives but struggled and, their health has failed them, you realize, maybe I do want to go to that concert. Maybe I should take that trip. Maybe I should go for that special dinner, go out with friends or just even take the kids. And we've always made a point of bringing our kids with us on any of our trips, because we wanted them to experience life as well. And a lot of people are of the mindset that, once they're adults, they can go and take their own trips and spend their own money. But we had a different mindset. And I have no regrets about how we've lived our lives. No, our mortgage is not paid off. We will retire with a mortgage, but I wouldn't have it any other way. we can manage the mortgage payment. We will have pensions, but I wouldn't have wanted to get to this point in life and not done anything. For me, traveling, getting out and seeing the world, going out for a nice dinner, doing activities and things with my kids, that's what really makes me happy and fills my soul. So, everyone has a different point of view when it comes to how they want to live their life, how much money they want to save, how much debt they want to incur. But for us, paying off our mortgage was never a priority. I think that Gen X is becoming less obsessed with looking perfect, looking successful, and more focused on just actually feeling alive and living life. I think that we are less interested in those big fancy homes with a mortgage that breaks the bank, and less interested in climbing the corporate ladder. We're not interested anymore in working our way up the pay scale because we want the money for our pensions, but really less interested in trying to be at the top of the corporate ladders, we'll say. And I'm more interested in having my free time, having flexibility, going and spending time and money on experiences instead of things. And a lot of Gen Xers are saying that I don't want to spend time during the healthiest years of my life waiting for permission to enjoy them. And honestly, I think there's wisdom in that because, again, time is never promised. Retirement isn't promised. And if you can get out and enjoy life during the best years of your life, you need to do that. Here's the uncomfortable truth that no one really talks about. Many people sacrifice their entire present for a future that isn't guaranteed. And that's not pessimism, that is the reality. Of course, saving matters, and of course, being responsible matters, but there is a balance. And because your entire life, it becomes someday I'll finally do whatever. And you wake up at 70 years old and you've postponed for decades all of the things that you wanted to do. And Gen X is increasingly rejecting those ideas. It's time to live your life now. We still care about stability, but we also care about quality of life. And we want memories now, we want peace now, and we also want experiences now. I think once you hit your 40s and 50s, you become very aware. And you stop wanting to do things just because society has said that those are the things that you need to do. And you start asking yourself, what actually matters to me? And for most Gen Xers, the answer is very simple. It's less pressure, less proving yourself to others, and more living your life. And that might mean you're working less hours, you're downsizing, you're saying no to burnout, you're traveling more, you're spending a little bit more money, and you're prioritizing your health. And honestly, I think that is the healthier way to live. I don't think Gen X is rejecting responsibility. I think we're rejecting the idea that life should be only enjoyed after decades of sacrificing and saving and maybe compromising. But life is uncertain and time moves fast and joy matters too. So save what you can, but be smart also where you can, but go live your life, take the trip, make the dinner plans, go and enjoy people, go and, go on, excursions, protect your peace at all costs. And, because these are the healthiest years of your life. Why wait until you're old and your mobility, you have mobility issues and you have health issues? Now is the best time to get out and live your life. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Do you think that Gen Xers are living their lives differently than their boomer parents? And if you've made it to the very end, thank you so much. I do appreciate you. And I apologize for the raspy voice. I have been sick for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I hope that if you enjoyed the content of this video, if you haven't already, that you'll subscribe, hit the notification bell. I do post videos regularly, and I'm happy to share all of my adventures, all of my opinions and thoughts about midlife with all of you. So until next time, bye for now.